lot of recrimination in Philadelphia, which, by the way, could be any day of the week ending in Y. But the Eagles decided to hold out their starters and let the chips fall between the 2 and 3 seed. And the chips fell. And sure enough, the other result that the Eagles needed in order for them to get the 2 seed with a win over the Commanders, who hadn't won in forever and a day, happened. The Lions go into Chicago and beat a Bears team that starts everybody. 2 coaches have different approaches, both lost on Sunday. Who would you rather be? The coach that, had they started everybody, could have gotten a better seed and you lose, and you can go into the playoffs saying, that's not the team that we are. We rested everybody. Or do you want to be the head coach that said, we play people around here. We put it all out there. We almost pulled it out of our orifice again, but we still lost to a Detroit Lions team that didn't make the playoffs and swept us. And you're now saying, we're not that team, even though it kind of looks like you are because you started everybody. And you still wind up the seed that you wanted anyway, which is the 2 seed. Because the difference between the 2 and the 3 seed in the NFC, the 2 seed takes on a Packers team that didn't start anybody at all, from your quarterback to pretty much everybody, lose to Minnesota. But they're also 9-7-1. And, ever since the Packers lost that game to the Bears that they were up 10 points in with, just a little over 2 minutes to go, they didn't win. And it's the Packers and the Bears. And if you're the 2 seed and you win that game, you get another game at home. The only road game you have to play would be an NFC Championship game unless somebody knocks off the 1 seed. And if you're the Eagles and you fall to the 3 seed, instead of getting a Packers team that you have had a number against in various hemispheres, instead of them, you get a 49ers team that's coming in. And let's put it this way. If you knock Brock Purdy out of this playoff game, Josh Johnson and Christian McCaffrey running a Wildcat offense is not walking through that door. So there's a difference. Let's hear what Nick Sirianni had to say after the game, as I'm sure today in Philadelphia, everybody is just spending one more day upset about not putting out the best team on the field in an 18th week to get the best possible seed before they turn a page and focus on a 49ers team coming to town.
No, again, you go through your process. You make what you think is the best decision for the football team, and that's what we did. I knew this was an outcome that these things could happen. Like I said to you guys, one thing I could guarantee was giving them rest. I couldn't guarantee anything else. And us being healthy and going into the playoffs healthy is a big deal for us. And, that's served us well in the past. And so, again, I know there'll be debate on that. But, again, I have to do what I think is best for the football team moving forward. And that's what I did.
Has there been, name me another coach in recent memory who's won as much as this guy has, including a Super Bowl as recently as this guy has, to have his process questioned as much as it is?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So him coming out and saying, trust the process. By the way, in Philadelphia.
And maybe choose a different phrase.
That we have a process, and we're sticking to it, and that's our process, and trust my process. And that's going over, I'm sure, like the proverbial, what will you say, church-like
flatulence.
So that's liquid.
Oh.
Don't forget that part.
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, there's Ben Johnson, whose process is beyond trusted in the city in which he coaches. because the previous processes were so bad and so in question and have been that way for so long that just seeing what we saw from them in NFC North Championship, regardless of result yesterday, starting everybody, only to have another 3 quarters of mind-numbing offensive inactivity suddenly come alive like the Undertaker off the mat or Tim Tebow starting a fourth quarter, only to have that happen again, only to lose to the Lions anyway. Ben Johnson on his process hit it.
Ultimately, as you mentioned, this doesn't cost you with seeding. What was your messaging for the guys in there?
That we're quickly turning the page here. Everyone's disappointed. I appreciate, like I said, their effort. Some teams, they rest their starters. We don't. We play football, and, and we felt like it was really important that we were playing our best ball here today, and we didn't get that job done. And so we're quickly turning that page, and now we got a home game coming on up, and there's a way to win this next game, and that's what we're going to be solely focused on.
Mm-hmm. We could go back and forth about this, but at the end of the day, we will not know the answer until next week. I know that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear a take. Boy, I have a problem with what Sirianni did. And I just know the way a lot of coaches think. A lot of coaches think we have the process, we have a plan, and if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. That's our result. We got to play this team anyway at some point. We got to go through a team like as good as the 49ers. The Packers are playing National Football League football too. How does it matter what we did to them in Brazil and what we did to them last year in the regular season or what we did to them last year in the postseason? Doesn't matter what we did to them in the regular season this season. 4 quarters of football and wild card weekend, anybody can win. And the 49ers are a team that we got to go through anyway at some point. So what does it matter? Well, fans are sitting there going, it matters because I'm doing the smell test. I'm doing the eye test here. And that 49ers team that played everybody on Saturday night and couldn't run it or pass it a lick against Seattle.
Couldn't do anything.
It's only going to go up from here. At least that's what fans are thinking. And why wouldn't we want to guarantee ourselves a second home game with a wild card weekend win if we can? And why would you just sit back? Well, because if Jalen Hurts gets rolled up on, or A.J. Brown gets rolled up on, or Blankenship gets rolled up on, I could just keep going on and on and on. And suddenly isn't available for the Packers. What good does that do us? Yeah. And with the Bears, the answer is, if I'm Ben Johnson, we don't have the luxury of sitting people down. Are you kidding me? We're still, every rep matters. Every rep matters. And would it be great for me to have, put everybody out there and it all worked out so well that we beat the Lions and I could good, better, best us to the playoffs? Sure. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. We still were the 2 seed. Didn't cost us. And here comes a Packers team that we're going to play and, does it help us that we're not playing the 49ers? I don't know. We almost beat them too. We put 40 up on them. And Seattle couldn't do a thing against them. So we're better than Seattle. How does that sound? You know what I mean? Like there's so many different ways to sell this thing. But in terms of what's right and what's wrong, we don't coach their teams. We don't have the medical reports. And on top of it, most importantly, we don't have the results of next week yet. And if the Packers come in to town and beat the Bears, is it because they played their starters in Week 18 and they're tired? Or the Lions exposed them? I don't know. Packers have 2 games of their own against them. So there's that. By the way, did you see the way Matt LaFleur dapped it up with Kevin O'Connell?
LaFleur.
At the end of that game? They were like long-lost brothers. Certainly Not the way LaFleur and Ben Johnson meet each other in the middle of the field. And then with the Eagles, if they get beat by a 49ers team, is it because the guys didn't play last week? Or if they're all healthy and they won and done a 49ers team that comes in banged up because they did have to put Brock Purdy behind the Trent Williams-less offensive line, and he suffers a stinger at the end of a game.
Now what?
We don't have the results, but it's sure fun to talk about, is it not?
Sure is.
You thought the Eagles should have played everybody?
I think punting on the 2 seed, that was an interesting strategy.
Didn't the Clippers do that all the time? Where they punt on a better seed, doesn't matter. I mean, what does it matter?
All the time would mean that they're always in the run for something.
Good one. I like
happened.
I think of all, or just NBA teams seem to do that quite a bit.
Of all the teams, I understood the Chargers kind of punting on Week 18. I understood the Packers punting this week. I didn't get
the Eagles.
The Eagles. And even I guess Josh Allen's a little banged up.
Oh, dude, you're not playing Josh Allen against the Jets team trying to take shots. Are you kidding me? Not saying that they're headhunters, but they're trying to keep food on the table and keep a job and prove themselves to a head coach and a front office that's like, who's in with us next year and who's not. And you want to put Josh Allen out there? Not a chance, man. I don't care.
No, they didn't need them to beat the Jets,
way.
Obviously.
And James Cook, too. Yeah. Not a chance.
The Eagles one was a little head-scratching.
Not a chance. You want Josh Allen as spry as possible, and Josh Hines Allen and the rest of that Devin Lloyd's coming for you next week. No chance.
But the way their offense has just been kind of up and down and inconsistent for full game, it would have been nice to put a full game tape together.
And that's why the Bears are like, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. But I love it. Ben Johnson says, we don't rest our guys. We play football around here. That's why Chicago fans love that sort of talk. They love that sort of talk. Big time. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.